Good evening, everybody. Wow. Well, what a day, right? What a day, what a day. We live to fight on. Let's see who's all here tonight. Husker was first. I was second. I'm just hustling more than you guys are. Vinman, Vince, Rosie, 1230, Joe, Vinman. I said Vinman already, didn't I? KJW, the one is here. Phil, Just Mike, Chris Rolls. I always can never say that right. Moody's here. What's up? Tuck, Rumdog Blue 5, Barbara, Joel, Mark. We got good peeps in the house tonight. Girth, Mike, Kathy, Ramiro, ESK. What's up? Cowboy. Don't call me a cowboy. The Cowboys lost. We're done with them. We don't have to talk about them until next year. Thank God. We have a nice long break. Yeah, bring it in, guys. I'm a little early, so I'll start slow tonight. We'll talk. I'll answer more questions than usual at the beginning. Then we'll go through stuff. I know what everybody's going to want to talk about. Number one, I get it. We're going to talk about Finger, of course. Earnings. Let's just get the cat out of the bag. Earnings were extremely disappointing. Not what we expected or hoped for. I've spent a lot of time today going over it again, making calls, chatting, texting people I wanted more answers for, just doing everything I can, processing it with people. And I'm really glad I did. Because I think that we have to acknowledge that it sucked. We do, because this was not what we expected. It's not what we hoped for. It's not what we were led to believe would happen. Part of that's on me, but I told you guys what I told, and there you go. So, but there's some key wording in there, and I've also just talking to people. I'm still very confident. So, but the key word in that all of that was that there was a missing of a cutoff date. And that's right there in the wording of the release. Let me bring it up here. I'm sorry, I'm not ready. I got in here early and then I forgot to pull up some stuff. So just bear with me for a second. I'm going to pull up the actual release so we can go through it a little bit here. All right. So right down here on the story continues. Here it is. We were looking for positive cash flow from our diversification into new business segments by the end of the quarter, but missed the cutoff. Keyword. Okay. In these financial dealings, you have to be in at a certain time. And for them, for Q4, it probably was midnight on December 31st. So by missing the cutoff, that specific language put in there, okay, that's legalese. That's telling you that we're actually doing really well. And unfortunately, I can't tell you anymore right now because it came in a day later or 2 days later. It's right behind. And you know what made me feel really good about it is the fact that our price did not plunge. We started off the morning, we were down like 35 cents. It was looking very bleak. And then we bounced back up. And we're up 6 cents, I think, in after hours. We did end up down a little bit on the day, I think 14 cents. I don't have it in front of me right now. Or do I? I'm on the page. Finger down 14 cents on a day and then bounce back over 3 and after hours or right at 3. Guys, what is it? Sometimes all we know is what the people closest to it know. And those are people with a lot of money. Okay. They're the ones who have all the knowledge, all know what's going on. And Finger, based on today, if this was actually really bad news or really bad earnings, this could have knocked the stock down 50 cents to $1 today. And instead we barely finished down. Somebody knows more than we know. That's what I'm believing. And I'm believing word on the street is probably that Finger is actually in really good shape. And remember, even last week we got a Seeking Alpha article that was very positive on Finger. So word on the street is Finger is doing great. And then we get this earnings report. Earnings doesn't mean everything because it's based on dates and times. So we have to just, we have to look through it through that perspective. Okay. So from there, I'm going to go through some questions here. What's going on with Finger? I think I just answered that, but we'll talk. We'll keep talking as we go through the night. First from Jacksonville, Florida. Nice. Kira, you got an IPA today? What are you drinking? What's up, Tony? Sideshow. Let's go over the good, bad, and ugly. We will. We will. All of it. Frank Petchke. See you at the Super Bowl lines. You guys can't play us in the Super Bowl. You can play us in the championship game, but not the Super Bowl. BB, what's up? Ralph. Swab's not letting you buy GTI again? Wow. Rosie, looks like March, April will be Fingers time unless some kind of bombshell drops. Listen, we are in one of those. See what you did there, Mr. Ox. Very funny. Phil, Long Island, nice. Ralph, yeah, they missed the cutoff day. It's right there in the wording. Why is Mike McCarthy not yet been fired? It's coming. I really do. Sideshow has a great question. If they missed the cutoff date, does that mean next quarter will be doubled? I believe it could be for sure. If all the work and everything they did, the earnings from whatever it is was coming in, it could have been a deal signed. It could be a lot of things. Whatever it was that didn't come in on time, came in probably pretty quickly. And yes, then they'll get the whole next quarter as well. So yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to be that guy who's like, hey, in 3 months, like that's not me. I don't want you guys to do that to you guys. But at the same time, is the reality is that Finger is probably operating right now in the black. And yes, that would mean the March earnings could be nuts. Radar can't average down, unfortunately, down 50% for your Finger. Going to sink with the ship at this point. Hey, me too. Gretchen, what's up? Remember the like button. Thank you, Brian. What's up, Mantan? Probably next earnings. Yep. Cal, I know you did, just Mike. I'm messing with you. Bills won, KC won, Trump won, MMTLP community members were busy in DC. Yep, that's very true. Lots going on. What's up, Jeff? Status GTI upcoming course. I can't speak. Status on GTI upcoming court case Alpine the Lone Catalyst. I don't know. It's not the Lone Catalyst. So let's talk about that with GTI as well and Finger. So where we're at right now. Everybody, first of all, earnings were not going to be our catalyst. So let's just take a breath there. What it was going to do is help us have a higher bottom, which everybody wants right now. And honestly, rightfully so. We've been down nonstop for 3 months. Like Ham says, even crappy stocks have good days, and we haven't. So we know it's manipulated. This would have definitely given us a good day with good earnings. And we needed that. That would have been great for our community for sure. It wasn't going to send it though. There's a lot going on with Finger behind the scenes. I mean, Ham's been talking about a dividend. I still think we're coming soon, even with earnings being what it was today. Okay, remember, earnings are a legal document that also accountants have to put together. Deadlines, lots of issues with as far as like strict deadlines to the minute. You have to, like with the cutoff thing. There's limitations is my point. And they can't just say in their earnings, like, we had a great quarter and this was happening and, we believe it's going to do this. That's not what an earnings statement is. That's what a PR is. We have this plan. So we're hopefully going to get some PR soon, but I do believe they were still waiting on the earnings report to come out in order to start moving other stuff along. And so I think it's very possible we're going to see a dividend soon. I think it's very possible we could see a deal signed soon. I mean, with what he says here, with that missed a cutoff and the business segments at the end of let's look at this part. Okay. Looking for positive cash flow from our diversification into new business segments. Well, how do you diversify into new business segments unless you've A, created something in-house, or B, bought something else? Okay, so something is going on there with Finger that's big. They just released the app last week that said it already has 200,000 signups. Maybe there's revenue from that. I mean, 200,000 is a lot of signups. Maybe there's revenue from that missed the cutoff. We don't know. We don't know. It could be something else. But my feeling is we're going to get some news starting soon. I really do think that. Today's Tuesday, so maybe not this week because we already got earnings, but who knows? Maybe we could see something this week, maybe next week. The point is, though, the stock didn't get killed. So the shorts could have used today to absolutely destroy us, and they didn't. Why? Ask yourself why. I think that there's a lot more bullishness on Finger than this. And by the way, I was on Twitter a bit today, and I didn't get the shills out like I usually would. Bashers would be going to town with this news, and maybe I just didn't see it because I blocked so many. But I didn't see too much. So going back now to talk about Catalyst, sometimes, guys, it's when you least, it's always with the stock squeeze when you least expect it. So Finger is still a bubbling brook ready to explode at any minute. Okay. And so is GTII. We don't know when these will run. We don't know if we'll get a catalyst and the next day it runs. That's not what happened with GameStop. It wasn't like they got news one day and they ran. It just started running. AMC, same thing. It's very rare that you just get a news report and then it runs. Short squeezes just happen when they happen, and nobody can predict them. So I'm not worried in that way, okay? And I don't think GTI has a lone catalyst, Tuck. There's other things that could happen. I mean, it could be something behind the scenes that we just don't see. It could be a Trento mine deal. There are things that could happen. It could be another deal we don't know about. For the Republic says the play was never contingent on earnings. That's 100% true. Absolutely. Chris, that means we need 3 months to hold. Shorts in 3 months can bring Finger to 120. Well, if they do, think about how much more will be accumulated. Just Mike also couldn't buy GTI today. Wow. Mario, go Cowboys in the fall. I love it. Rosie, if all the smart people know next earnings will be above average, they could front run it so the buildup may start before March. That's very true. Absolutely. Earnings for Finger could be March. Yeah, that's true, Nick. Ninetail, no. I know you probably clarified this for when the market collapses year, and I truly believe it is. Does that automatically cause all short positions to rise in the market? I would not say automatically all nine-tailed. So, Fingers Q3 ended on 11/30. Its fiscal year ends on 2/29. Interesting. I didn't know that, Mike. Thanks for sharing that. On nine-tail, it does not mean it for all. There's going to be different scenarios in each one. If it's like AMC or something like that, where it's so manipulated and also been diluted so much, the shorts might just be free in that one. It's for all I know. There's no reason to think they're trapped anymore. That's for sure. So I would not say all, no, but I would say that in any of them where the shorts are trapped, they should run. Yeah. And that would include Finger, GTII, as far as we know so far, Rumble, Wolf. There's quite a few that we know of, and others I'm sure we don't, where the shorts are trapped and they have no way of getting out except to just completely demolish the companies. And so if the economy tanks and all of a sudden all the risk assessors, all the banks are like, you guys, we're putting up margin crazy, our risk is out the roof, we're losing money, and all of a sudden these shorts that are trapped can't put up margin and are forced to buy back in, yeah, it's going to trigger a lot of squeezes. Especially now, other short sellers will make money because they'll be shorting the market. And so a lot of the stocks that are up, that are especially the big ones like bank stocks, Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon, all those will get shorted down. Those shorts will make money. But those of us who are already stuck in these very low, where the shorts have already knocked us down so much, and we've caught them, and we've hit a bottom where maybe they're trickling it down, but they really can't knock us out, and they're completely stuck. Yes, in those cases, an economy collapse will trigger short squeezes. And so it'll be very interesting to see how many actually run. And I have other people I know who actually don't believe the market's going to crash. They believe the economy's junk, all that, but they actually think there's a bunch of money hidden that's going to prop up the market, which their theory is very sound. These are very smart people, traders I know. I disagree with them, but it doesn't matter in this because they believe that despite that, they think they're watching the market, that it's actually preparing itself for massive short squeezes coming, because the market is more manipulated than they've ever seen it, and they feel like they're watching people scramble to move their money around because they know big pops are coming, and they have to relieve this pressure at some point. So that's another theory, but it still leads to a bunch of short squeezes. Robert, you have a little bit of money, buy more in February and March, bring your costs down. Nice. Is that tax money? I get that check too. Ramon, Ham says shorts lose $1 on the trade every month due to carrying costs, and summer hasn't trade become unprofitable since summer. Oh, this trade's been unprofitable for them for a long time, but here's the deal. They have a choice. They can lose billions and billions and billions and maybe go bankrupt in a day on a short squeeze, or they can bleed a few 100,000 every day, maybe it's a couple million, and they're slow bleeding, hoping and praying that they get us to the point where we bail, and or a company bails them out with a reverse split or something like that, and they escape. So that's the plan. Is they're trying to avoid it. So either way, they're losing money, but one way they're bleeding, and the other way they're dead in a minute. What's up, Capote? GDC's been rough so far. That is very true. Robert, bonus in March, income tax. Yeah. Frank, could Finger do what ZJYL is doing with their dividend? They could. They don't. Well, here's the deal. Right now, if Finger did, ZJYL, as far as I know, is not doing a dividend. They're doing a split. And if Finger did that, they could very well go under. They would go under $1 and could lose their NASDAQ listings. So that wouldn't make sense for them. Got 100 Finger today, a substantial discount. Nice. Treno Mines sign yet with GTII? I don't know anything about where they're at with that. Goodwill, you sold Finger today. Wow. GTI's done. Finger's done as well. No, they are not. GTI's not in trouble with the FBI. I don't know who told you that. That's a wild thing to say. Ricky Williams said today GTI was in trouble with the FBI. And really? I listened to that. To me, it sounded like he misspoke. I think he meant that the FBI is looking into stuff for Finger and to our GTI. It sounded like he misspoke. Listen, I guarantee you, with everybody, I am fortunate now to get a lot of people who talk to me about stuff. I would definitely know if GTI was in trouble with the FBI. Somebody would have told me that. So I do not believe that's what William meant. William's still on? Oh my God, what was that, 8 hours? Jeez. Goodwill, Jimmy, GTI will run up. Finger's going down to 130 before it comes back. Maybe after 1Q. That's when business is supposed to be up and right for Finger. We'll see, Goodwill. I would have believed you if it got tanked today, but it didn't. So I personally am not selling Finger right now. If I'd seen Finger go down, like shooting down today, 40 cents, 50 cents, 60 cents, then I might have sold and bought in later. But I don't think it's going to go down like that. I think it's going to hold. I think you're going to be surprised. Sold GTC and bought ZJ. You mean GDC? Yeah, I still have a few. Thank God I don't have too much. Maggun says Dow will have a big crash correction, but we'll get a squeeze with a proper trigger. Absolutely. Whether the market crashes or not, it's not going to determine whether we squeeze or not. It's just one way we could get there, and that's what my friends believe too. Ring the bell. They'll play the puts on the crash so they can cover the short positions while we run. It's probably true. Yeah. GTI is not in trouble with the FBI. I have no idea where that came from. That is no, and no, I haven't heard anything right now, Vince. That's Ham is the one who's been in contact with them, and I know he'll give us updates when he can. Yes, I saw Mark Bazil's tweet. Let me bring that up because this is interesting. Mark tweets tonight, a huge reckoning is coming according to my sources. This is just the start, he says. So I don't know what exactly that means, if he's talking about MMTLP or what, but whatever it is, just knowing who Mark's working with and who he's working for, it will be good for us. That I can assure you guys. So, because even if MMTLP gets settled, that's going to be a lot of money now freed up to rocket off some of these plays. So, ZJ Wells, yeah, forward split. Goodwill, William can't take criticism. Wrong by William does get upset over stuff, and he admits it. And so I'm not saying anything. I love the guy. He's been nothing but good to me. Really appreciate him. I do think he's a brilliant guy with a lot of stuff. He's also on all the time, and so he makes a lot of predictions. And I'm not going to judge him for it. In my opinion, he's still done more good than harm. And because one thing he's great at is educating people on the markets and the economy. So, and I always enjoy talking to him. So William's always welcome on mine. But yes, I understand the criticism stuff. I don't go after him. I never have. But those of you who might have, yep, you probably felt his wrath. So. Mario says, could that be the goal for the conference? Get finger under and do a list of it? Yeah, of course it's the goal, but they're not going to be able to do it. They haven't been able to get it under $1 before, and now there's way more of us here. I would estimate that since July, when Finger had that last big run, I would estimate that the shareholder base of Finger probably raised by 25% at least, which makes it much stronger. That would be my guess, because the attention that came to Finger because that was huge. Radar doesn't think Univest's coming. Well, I would tell you this, Radar. Univest and a couple other stocks, it took them 2 years to act. They're patient. And on top of that, we would hear something if they backed out. So, Husker, the long play has always been us turning on each other. Forgetting the story hasn't changed. They're still buried. Instant gratification is going 100%. Yeah, 100%, Husker. You're absolutely right with that. And they do. And, I actually had a good talk with Ham earlier today. And he said that, one of the reasons longs turn on each other is because it's about money. And it's really hard to unite people about that. And that makes perfect sense. Money is private. It's your deal. It's your desire. Everybody has their own desire for success and wealth. And it's really hard to trust people long term together to band together about money. It is. And so you're absolutely right. The shorts know that, and that's why they're also, I guarantee you, they're pissed that we're not leaving. They thought they would have had us by now, and that's because we're not going anywhere. Some people are, and that's fine. God bless you if you got to go. I know it's hard. I know it's long, and you might be down, or maybe you're still up in Finger because it's still up almost triple from last year. Maybe you're up and you're just ready to get out. And I get it. No diamond hands here. We're not going to criticize anybody, but the vast majority of us aren't going nowhere. Ninetail, thanks for the explanation. Personal opinion, though, honestly don't see how we go into depression 2.0 by the end of this year and next year. I agree with you on that. I think we're going to have an absolutely insane economy. Nick, are you crazy? You're selling your Finger? Okay. Gretchen, you said earlier Finger earnings had to come out before any news can come out. Why? I'm not saying it had to, Gretchen. I have a feeling they were waiting for that to get done. I don't think it had to. I didn't mean like there was a legal reason or anything like that. What's up, old finds? Steven, if they knock Finger down to 25 cents, should we be alarmed? If they knock Finger down to 25 cents, yes, you can be alarmed. Listen, even I heard on Ham's call today, he was saying that, look, if their next earnings sucks, then he's like, yeah, I'm out. He's like, because then I know I'm being lied to also. So yeah, there's definite times when the story's changed or we catch them in a lie. And yeah, so if it's down to 25 cents, I'd probably be alarmed because Finger has been very strong so far, holding up. And but we also got to see what the story is if it's coming to that. But here's the deal: Finger's got a lot more in gear than GTII, and it's also traded above GTI for a very long time now. So if it went down that low, I'd be alarmed. I would, but that's a long way off. For the Republic, criminals, markets, government are getting away with murder until the exact moment they don't. Roof jumpers, yeah. Yogi, do I think Bazil's comment might be connected to a big spike in MMAT today? Maybe. In my opinion, where does Finger price go from here? I have no idea, Mark. I was surprised it held up as well as it did today. It's up in after hours. So, wouldn't it be the weirdest thing if tomorrow, after all this, we finally have our green day for the first time in 3 months? Wouldn't that be crazy? Even if it's just a few cents? I mean, I'm not predicting anything. We could be down 20 cents tomorrow. I don't know. But for me, if it's down, I'm accumulating. I was fortunate enough to get a little bit to accumulate with, so I'll be jumping in. Roger, last month Ham told us the cops would do something this month. Yep. I listen, and those guys, they're gonna move on their own time. So, Lewis, William, and Katie would not buy GTI, and that's a CEO as a current problem. I listened to William. I heard his comments. I know William's got issues there, but I don't know what they all are. So, but when I heard him saying he wouldn't buy GTII, he also, that's not the full context. He said he wouldn't super promote it right now where it's at because it's so low. But he also said, and this is important, context is important, guys. You have to, especially when a guy talks for 7 hours, there's a lot of context. His context also, he said, though, that he thought it was, if you're accumulating still, it's a great time to accumulate. He did say that. And he also said he still very much believes in GTI as a squeeze. So it's important. I listened to him today. It's important to remember all that. Paulie says, I'm not worried at all. Finger not going anywhere. Nothing changed. Absolutely. I agree with everything you said there, Paulie. You're welcome, Radar. Barbara, Roger Ham said he'll be back next week, I think. Hi, Roger. Darren, if Williams an issue for people, all have to do is stay. I was like, there you go. Nick says, MMTLP, MMAT is not figure right now. People have no patience. I have 3 more to go to Panama, and I'm rushing Ace. You have 3 more to go to Panama. I'm sorry, Nick. I don't know what you're saying, man. Has Ham stopped holding his calls? Ham was on a call today. Was DWAC up today? I didn't see it. March, the Fed's be shutting off the buyback programs. It is. Yep. It's shutting down its bank lending program in March, which is going to be causing some crazy stuff, I believe. They knock finger down. Rosie. Yeah, Paulie, I do the same thing. And so Paulie says is if I'm 100% committed, I get anxious. But when I do, I replay facts and buy more. Exactly. And that's what I do too. You keep going back. You have to keep going back to the story. If you're going about this day by day and just letting your emotions make the decisions, I guarantee you'll be kicking yourself when it's done. Or maybe you won't. Maybe you won't. Maybe, and that's a big maybe to me because I feel so strong about these plays. But you got to do what you feel is best. Absolutely. But personally, the money I have invested in these is, to me, worth the risk because I feel so strongly about them. I could have my life changed or my life not change very much, which is if I lose this money, I'm in that place where my life won't change very much. But if I gain that money, my life changes forever. And that's how I look at it. The risk reward is unreal. And so, yes, like you, I go back, I replay the facts, and I feel peace again, and I stay. And that's what I did today. Brett called Schwab today about ZJOL forward split. I have 85 shares and would end up with 4 shares and cash down the 5 remains. They said there would not be any fractional shares. That's a reverse split, Brett. If it goes from 85 to 4. Because they'd be making the float smaller that way. That's not what they're going to do. Your 85 shares should become about, what's the number? Like 1,600 shares. The reason I brought this up is I know a lot of people have under 20 shares stick with their broker because that's not a reverse split, Brett. Goodwill, your top picks right now. ELVA, I haven't heard of it. Mexican, do I think Ham and William can turn Gary Gensler's twin brother Robert Gensler into Manchurian candidate? Wouldn't that be great? What do I think will happen with ZJYL? ZJYL looks very strong. Very strong. It was up $26 today, back over 100, and it's got that forward split coming up. I think ZJYL is going to be a monster. Everything looks like it. It's got such a small float. It's completely owned already, the float over. And so I think ZJYL could have a really good run. MM, I want to sell. Do you know you're here? It's a 1,000 times your investment. Yep. Husker, regardless of that, I'm going to have to jump ahead, guys. You guys are going so fast. Zachariah, long-time listener, first-time caller. Yeah, no, you're not. Anything I can share what a finger dividend might look like? No, I have no idea. I'm guessing it'll either be a restricted dividend like GTI was, or maybe a warrant. That's possible too, like GTI did last year. So what's my gut telling me about what, Paulie? Jim, sure seems fishy figuring out a pre-earnings price hike like it did the past 3-4 earnings report. It's like the shorts knew it double, triple down. It's like they were tipped off. It's possible. There was that good report last week from Seeking Alpha, so who knows? 3 more years before I move to Panama. That means, oh, okay, I got you, Nick. Okay, now I get you. Dustin, need your help. Couldn't get this to Hammond Will's call. Tagged you. It's a major 326,000 sub YouTube creator focused on stocks that wants to be the rum data. Okay. I guess Dustin. Yeah, I'll ask Cam to look, and then maybe write me too, so I can forward it in case he doesn't look. What I see causing the squeeze, Vince, man. I mean, I've told you guys a lot. There's different things that could cause the squeeze. Personally, I think it'll probably be something we don't expect, or it'll be a day we don't expect when maybe even nothing happens and then we just wake up and it's running. I've had 2 dreams about them running. Both times it was a surprise. Everything I've ever been told by anybody who's been in these has always been surprised when they finally run. GTI last year was a surprise, or not last year anymore, a year and a half ago was a surprise. It was a surprise how fast and high it ran. It wasn't a surprise that it was starting to happen because it was building up, but nobody expected it to pop off the way it did. The problem is you just don't know. You don't know, and there's a lot of factors. I mean, what's going to happen is that these shorts are trapped in both GTI and Finger. Okay, they're trapped. They can't get out unless the companies go bankrupt or they cut deals with them. And neither of those things are anywhere close on the horizon of happening. So Finger, by just growing and growing as a company, could eventually just run them out until it breaks. Okay, until it pops them out, because they keep getting stronger and stronger. And the other one, it's just like, the straw that broke the camel's back. Well, that's about straw being put on the camel's back over and over and over again until the final one breaks it. Nobody knows which one it is, but one of them eventually breaks it. That's how I could see it going down with Finger. GTII, because of it being in the place it's at right now, it's going to be different. I think GTI will be either a catalyst, like a big deal like Trento, or the economy crashing, or I should say the stock market crashing, or it could be something like a accumulation of them, like 3 or 4 things happening in succession, and then finally GTI is stronger and does the same thing. So that's how I see it happening, but I do think it'll be surprising when it happens. I really do. Republic, oh, you're welcome. That's nice. Thanks, man. Yeah, you're definitely not alone, brother. Paul, you're a little extended, so if your day is totally worth it. Where else would you ever have this chance? We're excited just to buy more little by little. Wow. Yeah, Paul, I hear you. I hear on that. I agree with you. I don't know if an opportunity like this will ever come along in your life again. I really don't. If I lose my investment, I'll wind up an elderly Walmart greeter. Well, I guess there's worse things. You could play the guitar. I knew a Walmart greeter did that. How much CMC runs? You talking about McCaffrey, my boy? Ocean said, yeah, Ford splits more. Look away on the hard days. Yeah, you can always find something to do. Yep. Mike, been holding 2,500 since October, but I'm in this till it rips. Awesome. Goodwill, everyone is beginning to get pet insurance for dogs they got during pandemic. Trupanion. Trupanion. 50% short interest. Nice. What's my gut on Finger? I have a mixture of excitement, anxiety, and grateful to be part of these plays. Listen, everything I've seen on Finger, today notwithstanding, although I do think you can look into what happened today and actually see it's not nearly as bad as it looks. It just wasn't. It wasn't the punch up we wanted. It wasn't the uppercut we wanted. It ended up just being kind of like a nothing burger. That's really what it was, and that was why it was so disappointing, because it really just told us we're still where we already were, and we wanted to jump to the next level. Okay, and that didn't happen, and that sucks, and it was super disappointing. Still is, but. Did it hurt us? No. Did it send us backwards? No. And so my gut on Finger is that Finger is growing as a company and is strong. Again, the fact that the stock was not absolutely killed today tells me that Wall Street knows it too. And so what I think with Finger is, I think Finger is an excellent company, growing, and I think they're making deals and building, and I think they're going to be very formidable going forward. I think we are in a company, a tech company that's absolutely massive because it's tech as a service that is servicing a billion people. That, I mean, there's no way to even guess what the value of that's going to be, but I can tell you that once these things get moving, they don't look back. And the fact that we're in early tells me that, and it's also highly shorted and the shorts are trapped. It's amazing. It really is. And why GTI still has the numbers, I think, too, and because the OTC advantage also still have a bigger run than Finger when it short squeezes. Finger right now is by far the better company, and it's if you're just looking at it from an investment angle, Finger is brilliant. It's a brilliant place to be in too. It's one of those things that most people dream, even if it was just a regular stock, it didn't have the short interest. Finger is one of those stocks that you dream of getting in on the ground floor of, in my opinion. And so my gut tells me that Finger, throw away the fact that it's shorted. Let's throw that out the door. Finger in a couple years is going to be $100 stock even without a squeeze. That's my gut on Finger, because just the fundamentals are so strong. Worse than a greener themselves, yeah. Jeff, if you have extra money, you can buy ZJYL. One share in the company gives 20 shares and a short squeeze. Yep, that's true, Nick. And the numbers on ZJYL are very strong looking. Ring the bell. I feel like when it runs, just don't panic. Yes, that's true. Yep, gotta be ready for that. Yep. What's up, Croissant? Sunny Southern California. I'm jealous. It's 17 degrees tonight in North Carolina, where I'm at. Jeff, you picked up a handful of CJYL with the intent of dumping profits in Finger GTI. Same here, man. Goodwill says, look at the 5-year on Finger. It's going under its low Bollinger. Not saying sell, just conserve your resources. Earnings like, yes, it's true. They did. But I don't know if it's going to have that crash that people are looking for. The charts have been wrong on both of these so many times as far as trying to make predictions. GTI is oversold. It is time for reversal in GTI. That's the other thing in GTII. GTI didn't have a deal go through when it ran to 3 last year. It didn't have a deal go through when it ran to 9 the year before that. GTI has these ebbs and flows, and we are way overdue for another one of those. So it could come at any point. I mean, I've been giddy picking up shares at this level right now because I know at some point there's going to be a correction in GTI. Even if that correction without a squeeze takes us to $1, you can make a crud ton of money buying at these prices. Even if it takes us to $1.50 or $2, which has hit many, many times before. So I have no concerns about GTI right now. Saber, looks like we have shorts in here with the script. Are they? Who's talking, Saber? I'm missing it. Ace, where can I see the public flow for GTI is? And where I see is 262 million. Goodwill, I don't know where the number is posted. I just know from a contact that has the exact numbers from GTI themselves that it's under 100 million held by the DTCC. So what you're probably seeing is them having gotten together all the shares from the deals and stuff done over the years, maybe behind like insider shares, and they've probably accumulated all that. And it makes sense, Goodwill, because I've seen this before in other stocks that are highly naked shorted, that there's so much counterfeit stock out there that the real numbers get thrown off. Paul, you cut a small position, GameStop squeeze. When it goes, it will blow your mind. Action moves so fast and your account goes up so crazy fast you'll freeze. I can believe it. Yeah, man. Forward split record date. Forward split record date was the 12th, was it? Okay, so that was a Friday. They're voting it on the 29th, so. Or maybe the 29th is the record. Maybe it's flipped. It's the term oversold equal counterfeit to death. Close. The fundamentals on GTI, that's a great question. So GTI has not made money the last couple years. They did bring in some money from an exercised warrant. They brought in $3 million in 2022. But yeah, other than that, they really haven't had any revenue all of 2023. The fundamentals are that they are an extremely small company. I think they have 3 employees, including the CEO, and I think only 2 of them are full time. They have 0 overhead, and what they do is they act, and they've been around for 40 years. Okay, they were instituted, I believe, in 1981, and so they've been around for 40 years, and their business model is taking companies that want to get onto the NASDAQ and have to go through all the hoops and everything. GTII already has everything in place for them, so they can get basically on pretty much immediately, or at least significantly faster. So the companies partner with GTII. GTII gets them uplisted through themselves at first, operating as a shell company, and that infuses the cash. And then while they're finishing their paperwork, which takes like 6 months to a year to finally be able to get extricated from GTII and be on itself, they go through that process. And then once they get out, GTI gets to keep a portion of their shares as like and it's like 10% or something like that of the company. And so GTI owns stake in these other companies as a result. So that's how. And so is it fundamental, like what you're looking for in a typical way, like service? No. To me, the great fundamental of GTI is that their overhead is so small and they've been around for so long that they're like impossible to kill. I call them the cockroach company. I really do, because you just can't kill them. What's up? Vayman, what's the deal with Adam Aaron emailing pictures of his? Oh yeah, that's gross. I just talked to Pedro about that one. He's always posting about it. Got 18 shares in ZJYL Max. Nice. 6 degrees in St. Paul, Minnesota tonight. Wow. Goodwill being real about Finger. I think a lot of holders are weighing on earnings, like the concert goers and Woodstock 99 were waiting for the final encore act Sunday night. Well, that's sucky. Woodstock 99 was terrible. Crud ton. Yeah, Mega Baby. Yes, definitely, Rosie. Make your selling plan ahead of time. 100%. Yeah. Oversold means nothing with stocks that's manipulated. Without strong PR deal, you're confident GTI won't have. Yeah, I am. Vocal is a whole different story. Vocal was strong and actually had a little bit of fundamentals going for it, and he cut a deal. He cut a deal with a toxic lender. That's what killed Vocal. And now he's thinking about, or he's doing another one, and he's also thinking about reverse splitting. So, I mean, he's doing everything that Ham has always said not to do, and that we've also, it's not just Ham saying it at this point, we've witnessed it. If you've been around this for a while, you've witnessed companies sign with toxic lenders get destroyed. You've witnessed companies that do reverse splits get destroyed. And Vocal is doing all those things. So, hi. Love you. So the Vocal is different, whereas GTII, despite the fact that it doesn't really have any revenue right now, has done everything else right. They've done everything else right, and so the guys are trapped in it, and they can't get out. Saber, that's why you research Universe time frame of holding until August, October. We'll evaluate during March earnings. Frustrated with Chicken Littles. The Chicken Littles. Have there ever been a squeeze with synthetic shares? Yeah. Overstock, VW. Gosh, there's others I just can't think of off the top of my head. What's up, Susan? Vocal is not a shell. No. GTI has no burn. That's correct. No churn either. Saber, you're a bad boy on a work conference call for work. You can't listen or read the chat and still talk. Like it. Dubois in the house. What's up, boys? Tony Saint says Frommer seemed shady from day one. He did, but he seemed like he was a shady guy on our side, and that's why I liked him at first. But then completely, he just turned into a creep. I did talk about finger earnings, Max. Yeah, towards the beginning. Yogi would sell your Vocal if it was actually worth something. Yeah, man, I feel you there. So the thing is with Vocal is it is heavily shorted. Obviously. I mean, I sold it way back in March at 60 cents, 65 cents, and now it's down to 6 cents, something like that, maybe less. I haven't looked at it in a while, but that's just absolutely destruction. That's I feel bad for everybody who, got in that one, because he's the one who screwed you over. It wasn't just us waiting on companies to do something and waiting it out. It was actually got screwed over. But it's also heavily shorted. So it's one of those that could turn around, and the squeeze would probably be less than it would have been otherwise. But at the same time, it still could someday have potential if he ever does the right thing. Gonna have a Royal Rumble watch party. Rosie, learn from AMC. If the management is doing the right things, get out. 100%, Rosie. That has stayed true. I got in NVOS a few months ago, because Daniel Borders was talking about a lot, and there was a lot of good looking stuff on it. So I was excited. I bought some NVOS. I bought it around like 250 or something, and it went up to 3, and I was pretty excited. And then they announced, no, it didn't go up to 3. I'm sorry. It was at 30 cents. That's right. It went up to 30 cents. I bought it at 25 cents. It went up to 30 cents. Pretty excited. And then they announced a reverse split. And it came fast and furious. It was before I could really put my mind together to sell it. And I thought, okay, on the reverse split, a lot of times when he announced, now I remember, when he announced the reverse split, it shot down to 17 cents. And so now I'm under, and I was like, well, sometimes on the reverse split, when it first happens, there's a run right then, and then it goes down. And so I was like, I'll just sell right after the reverse split. Well, it didn't. It just went down. And so I was like, I don't trust this guy. He screwed us over. He never did the buyback he said he was going to do. Said there was going to be a $10 million buyback. It never happened. And so I sold. I sold at 140, 130, somewhere in that range. And I lost double my money in it, which thankfully wasn't too much. But I have friends that are still in it, and I think it's at 60 cents now or somewhere in there. It's just like, you cannot once a CEO reveals himself, trust them. Trust what they're showing you and get out. Dito, you sold your vocal shares at the end of last year for tax write-off. It's probably smart. Susan, what'd you miss? What's going on with Mark Brazil? We don't know, but Mark doesn't mince words, and he's a lawyer, so he's not going to say something that can get him in trouble. So if he says there's a reckoning coming, he knows something's up for sure. CJYL price target if it squeeze. Listen, DB, I have no idea, but Ham's guy who's in it is the reason we're in it, because he said he bought, I can't remember, a crap ton of shares, but he said that him and these other guys, they all hold over the float, and they're all these big whales, and he said they're going to hold till 30 grand. Well, I don't believe it'll hit 30 grand. That's insane. But if you even go conservative on that and it hits 2,000, 5,000, I mean, that's great. And if this forward split happens and all of a sudden it's easier to buy in, and say now if everybody buys in at $4, $5, $10 maybe. No, it'd be $5 right now on the forward split, because it's going to be 20-1. If everybody buys in there and you get a bunch of shares at $5 and it runs to 1,000 or runs to 800, I mean, you just made that's a great trade. So I don't have a price target on it, but I'm my estimation is it could have a really good run. 73, jeez. Rum had 15% up today. I know. I have no idea what's going on with rum. But maybe just more people are buying in after we talked about it last week. That's very possible. Are we sure about the forward split record date? I don't think that's the record date. I don't, because it hasn't been voted on. Chris Rhodes, 1 degree in Idaho, -8 at breakfast. Holy cow. LQR. Is that logic? So I know William's really big on logic. I've never bought into it. Clay, what's up? You're surprised shorts at hammer finger today. Yeah, I talked about this earlier, Clay, that to me that tells me that Wall Street knows that Finger's earnings are not representative of what's really going on in the company. Ellie, can't wait for our stocks to squeeze. Speaking for myself, be totally out of the fraud market. No idea a couple of years ago how corrupt and manipulated Wall Street. Absolutely. I mean, Ham posted this today. This is a great story. This is on financeyahoo.com. But the NASDAQ CEO is saying financial crime is a multi-million-dollar epidemic. And in this story, you guys have to watch it later. But she talks about how there's so much crime in the markets. I mean, we're talking drug dealers, terrorists. They're all putting their money in the markets. And why? It makes sense. They're washing their money. And even the NASDAQ CEO is saying this. I mean, here you can see like how crazy these numbers are. More than 3 trillion in illicit funds flowed through the global financial system, 783 billion in drug trafficking, 347 in human trafficking, 11 billion in terrorist financing. I mean, nuts. And then you look down here, 486 billion in losses from fraud scams, bank frauds. I mean, they're admitting it. Now, there's nowhere in here do you see naked shorts, because they're never going to talk about their own Wall Street people being a part of it. But they're admitting it's criminal. I mean, our markets, how do our regulators, $3 trillion, how do our regulators just not do anything? And, it's because times are going good for a long time. But now they're starting to pay the piper. It's all coming to a head now. And so for my money, I truly believe that because we're in these plays, we will be the ones who benefit from the piling up of corruption over decades. And we'll be the ones who benefit by being into plays that could actually break out of this and change our lives as a result. Because fraud always at some point, corruption always at some point has to pay the piper. It always comes to a head at some point. And my belief is this year it's happening in many, many areas of the world, and in our country especially. So this is one of them. But yeah, the markets are a complete scam. They really are. This story is nuts. That's the NASDAQ CEO saying this. Bunny, did I see Foon pump? No, I don't know anything about Foon. What if it gets lower, says Maddie? Great. Points accumulate when the bottom hits and when it turns hard, they're running out of time. I agree with you completely, Maddie. Aaron, if Trento's real and GTI can close that, we could easily hit 10 and beyond. Yeah, absolutely. The guy I was talking to about Trento, he was an evaluator. He was saying that if it's a really truly a $6 billion deal, that would make the estimated price of GTI stock $60 a share. So it could change everything. Saber, you can listen now. Yeah, multi-trillion-dollar business, right, Roger? Exactly. What happened to the GTI AI deal? It was signed, Aaron. It's done. I mean, we got that back in September. We've never seen what the revenue is from that, if any. We were told, Daniel Borders tweeted that it $15-20 million, but we haven't seen that yet. So, for all I know, for all I know, I don't know. That's all I can say. But it's in there. LQR's e-commerce platform specializes in spirits and beverage. Oh, yeah. I figure a lot of people are going to drink a lot more of that. Well, you might be right, Chris. The other factor in that, though, I mean, as the economy tanks, drinking always goes up. That's for sure. But also, a lot of people have been getting out of drinking after drinking too much during COVID. So, I don't know, but I think you're right. If you're betting on the economy crashing, it probably is a good time to be into liquor stock. So LQR, that makes sense. Liquor, that's short for liquor. That's funny. that's pretty cute. I like this. Trading Tiger put this up today. $2.95. From time to time, a stock gets priced at a level fully reflects negatives and nothing or little or future potential positives. From my perspective, that day was today. Better days ahead, and time will prove thesis wrong or right. I've got plenty of time. I love that he wrote this, and I tend to agree. I think today was the darkest day Finger's going to see for a while. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the lowest the price will be for a while, but as far as a news standpoint, I think it's the darkest day we'll see for a while. And guys, let me put it this way. If this is the worst it gets for us going forward, this is not that bad. I mean, if you look at it, Big JR also posted this, which, where are you, Big JR? We miss you. He says, agree, things in business don't always happen on our timetables. He still sounds confident. He can't say if it's a lie. And he's posting this from the earnings. But the truth is that Finger also in there, it basically comes in that they're 90% ahead of where they were the previous year. So Last year, despite this earnings report that was discouraging and disappointing, Finger still had a year that was 90% better than the year before. 90%. This is the kind of stuff you have to gather yourself and look at everything to really evaluate. Okay? That's massive. Any business in the world will tell you they would gladly take a year that's 90% over the year before. So Finger had an amazing year last year. This stock is still doing great. Last January, Finger was in the ones in the stock. Stock's almost triple where it was last year. The company was 90% up over year. It's doing great. If this is the darkest day we're facing in Finger for a while, it's not that bad. We're going to be just fine. Husker, look at this way. As dumb money comes along, expose the biggest money scheme, of course they'd be pissed and finally... Exactly. They hate us. And I love that. It's going to feel so much better knowing they do. What's up, my guy? Guess I'll have to go back and watch what happened. It's all right, Richie. Thanks for stopping by. What's up, Robert? Northern Ontario. Goodwill talking to Richie. Saber, look how it bounced rejected low day. Exactly. Now it was huge. BB, one of those who slowed your drinking during COVID. Been trying non-alcoholic beers lately. Have you found a good one? I always find like those, my problem with them is they just don't taste good. But it's like decaf coffee. It just tastes different. Let's look at the market a little bit. So the market was way down today, and tomorrow futures are already blood red. The 10-year Treasury went over 4% today, so that really sent everything going down. It's getting interesting. Let's go look though at Finger here. So Finger down 14 cents on the day. Oh, it ended up only 1 cent up in after hours. That's kind of a bummer. It was doing better. ZJYL up 29 bucks on the day was huge. But talking about Finger, so almost 1 million shares, but look at the bounce he was talking about, okay? This is important. Here's right after earnings. Boom! 268. Boom. Right here. Wait, let's hit our low. Where's our biggest low here? What was the low today? Because I'm having trouble getting there. There's 264. Anyways, just look how it is tacked and then bounced right back up. That tells me we're going to be fine. At one point, we were even green for the day. I mean, guys, this is not what a stock does when it has earnings reports like this. If people know it sucks, it's just not how it works. If earnings comes out and are terrible, they get smashed. This should have kept going down, but Saber's exactly right. That bounce is huge. It's huge, and it tells me Wall Street knows this is a great play to be in. Yeah, put on my Texas Ranger pick. Maybe in a bit, Mike. Goodwill says, friends of mine bought a liquor store just before pandemic. We're paying $50 hour cash to come in and keep bottles on shelves. Wow. Dumb money 2, dumber money. Dumb money 2. Smarter money? Question mark? That's what it should be. Smarter money? I think the market's going to bleed tomorrow. I don't think... Oh, it hit 260 today, Thomas? Wow. Yeah, I think the market's going to bleed. I do. I think the market is going to be red a lot going forward. Roger, respect everyone is north or northern in their state. Yeah, North Carolina's frozen today too. Non-alcoholic Corona. All right. Maybe one of these days. But like Roger says, what's the point? I kind of feel that way too. BB Athletic Brewing Company has a bunch of styles. Heineken Zero, Guinness Zero. How can a dark beer be good like that? That just seems weird. Husker, when do I think the economy could help these along? How much longer can they really prop it up? Great question. So, to me, I've been telling you guys for a while, I really think that the volatile part of the market, if it's going to crash in early this year, I think it's going to be late February, March, where the Fed starts pulling some of its programs. The bank lending program, for one, a reverse repo is way down right now. It could be. I read today that at this rate, it could be at 0 in 3 months, which would be March again. It's things are bad right now. It's really bad, and the money propping up the economy is drying up. Now, the obviously Congress is working on a budget deal right now. They might choose to infuse the economy with a bunch of money. The Republicans are not being fiscally conservative like they promised. So we'll see what happens in that. They also might be terrified of what's coming in the economy. And then obviously the inflation data last week was a big shocker, going back up like that. And now the market is getting less and less sure about rate cuts. So all of this is contributing, and along with the fact that the economy itself, the fundamentals of the economy just keep getting worse. All this is contributing to a buildup, and something's going to happen at some point. What I could see happening come late February into March is I could see a lot of those banks, once that lending program's dried up and whatever happens with reverse repo, I could see the banks starting to crash. And we all know what happened last time. It was the banks crashing that set off the crash in general. So that's kind of my theory of what could happen coming up. If not, if they somehow make it through March, and then I think we get to the fall. Because in summer, everything slows down. There's less trading. Everybody's on vacation. It's very rare to see a crash in the summer. It's almost always spring or fall. So, if they make it past March, if they survive March, because I do think March is going to be very testing. If they survive that, I think it's going down in September, October. That would be my guess. Right up to the election, which, it is what it is. They are going to try to prop this up. They don't want it to crash, trust me. But maybe they do. I actually know a few people who subscribe to a theory that is very interesting. But that things are so bad, and they're seeing a lot of indicators the same as coming out of 2019 into 2020. And they believe, with good evidence to back it up, that the crash in 2020 before COVID was actually not going to cause that crash. They used it as an excuse to crash the market and kind of get the books clean, and use it as an opportunity to kind of weed out some of the issues that were going on coming out of 2018, 2019. So is that true? I don't know. I do think it's very possibly true. And if that is so, then they're going to try to do that again this year, because we're coming to a head with everything. I just don't think they can kick the can down any longer. I really don't. Even though it's an election year, they just don't have the same tools. In the past, everybody's always says this, they won't do it in an election year. The last two crashes were in election years, but it was years where there was no incumbent. So that's fair, because it was 2000, 2008, the last two crashes. So, and 2020, obviously, but that was there was different things going on in 2020. So it's actually the last three crashes were election years. But there's something to be said for the fact that, there's a Democrat in power right now, and they have no problem spending their way out. And neither do Republicans either, to be honest. But the problem is this: they can't spend like that. They can't keep doing it. The Fed knows that, and that's why the Fed has got rates up and has also still been quantitative tightening, believe it or not. Because inflation will go absolutely batshit crazy if they pump the way they did in the past. They can't do it, and they can't lower rates because of that. So everything they used in the past to inflate the markets, they don't have those same tools. So they're going to have to either get very clever and come up with new ways of doing it, or it's going to crash this year. So, and if it doesn't crash this year, you better believe they'll let it crash right after Trump wins. That's a guarantee. ESK, have we heard about the new guy came out as consultant? No, I mean, he hasn't told me much. So the guy's got a good track record. So I'm hoping that is the same. That holds up. Yeah, CBDCs, they're going to try for sure. I don't know if they'll succeed, but they're going to try it, Thomas. What's up, Frankie? Goodwill. Fundamentally, Finger is not a $5 stock yet. Bad earnings. You haven't seen tomorrow's dive yet. Earnings release doesn't equal a single day. You might be right, Goodwill, but I still, to me, I disagree with you. Fundamentally, Finger as a tech stock, it would easily, if it wasn't manipulated, it could be $20 to $50 stock right now. There's so many tech companies that had smaller deals in place than Finger does and smaller potential than Finger does that were way up $30, $40, $50 stocks when they were still high in debt, which Finger doesn't have, and they were not profitable. And so that's why I disagree with you there. Tech stocks are a different animal. So Finger, I think, is $100 stock in the long run. Absolutely, Aaron. What's up, JR? There you are, man. Pizza, I don't know if you spoke about it yet. It sounds like Finger dividend right. I agree with that. I did speak about it, actually. But yeah, I agree with you. Goodwill, you're all right, man. You can be real with us, your opinions. I disagree with you. You're a chart guy. And I love that about you because you bring a lot of neat analysis and insight. And I do appreciate that. But also, a lot of the predictions, because of the charts, have been wrong. So I just don't trust those. These stocks are so manipulated. I just don't think they matter as far as predictions based from the charts. Yep, market prices are often set by speculation. I would say, Rosie, that 95% of the time they're set by speculation. The stock market is speculation. That's all it is. It's everybody assigning value to what they think a company should be worth. And then because of the trading now, it's not even about that anymore. Now it's not about what a company's worth. It's about how much can their stock go up it's all big gambling now. That's what it is now. So it's not what it used to be. Big JR, new rules for live chat say you can't curse. I decide whether I want to come again because work that. Listen, the rule is I ask you guys not to curse, but a little bit's okay. There's not a lot, okay? Not a lot, because there might be kids watching this. I just don't want it to turn into, the Wild West. Plus, I can get YouTube can pin me for that for too much cursing. So, but you're funny, Jar. It's not like you're writing a bunch of F-bombs in my chat all the time, anyways. You curse the counterfeiters. That's right. There you go. So I love it. But listen, guys, all in all, again, you see the jump here. The bounce is awesome. Finger's holding strong. It's going to be fine. I think this is the worst news we'll get from Finger the rest of the year and going forward. This was the worst day for Finger, and it's not even going to be that bad. We're going to be fine. If this was, we'll see if Will's right and we get hit tomorrow. I think they'll try it, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think we're just going to be we thought this was going to be an awesome day, and it ended up being a crappy day, and it wasn't that bad. And going forward, it's just not going to be worse. So that's how I look at it. You go through life, and sometimes you have a bad day, and then you look back and you're like, it wasn't that bad, was it? That's today. Today, it was only bad because of our speculation and our what we were hoping would happen. And ultimately, not that bad. So, guys, we're still in a great place. Nothing's changed. I do think now we're going to start seeing more momentum on Finger now that it's the new year and this earnings report is done with. We already got the app, so that's moving forward. I know stuff's going on in GTII. I don't know how close they are, anything, but just the fact that the Trento guys are in town, they hired Luke back in December. Things are happening at GTII. You can just see it. They're trying to get something done. So you take all of that, and you take the fact that the market's getting weaker, short sellers getting weaker. Everything's, these guys are trapped. Nothing's changed. Let me just put it that way. I know everybody today, especially on Twitter, when earnings first came out, it was like the end of the world. Everybody was so bummed, and I get it. But at this point, if this is the kind of day that you're destroyed over, it's probably just sell out, and I hope you made profits and go do something else. But if you guys can shake it off like I can here and just be like, well, that was it. That's kind of how I feel about it. That was it. That wasn't that bad. We're going to be just fine and better than fine. And like, who just wrote that? John Silence, but there's companies with much worse fundamentals. Quarterly reports are trading in the tens. Exactly. He's 100% right on that. Either believe it's manipulated or everything's just fine dandy. Yep, exactly. So, Ham said the next finger earnings aren't good. He would agree someone's wrong. That's right. Yep, exactly. And I think we talked about it earlier, but we could definitely get a double earnings next because of the cutoff that happened. That makes it sound like something was just about to happen. They couldn't quite get it in the earnings. So, if I call someone a mother, father, am I in the clear? You're in the clear. It's clever, very clever. Saber, even if it drops more than that, just more shares for my money. Yep, exactly. Brett, I agree with you on the reverse repo. They've had too easy parking money for 4 to 5% instead of loaning it out. Banks are in deep trouble. Yeah, banks are in big trouble. Ham's just cold finger for bring out earnings PR right before market. Yeah, right? That's a good point, Pizza. I'm sure he did. Big Jar says, even if earnings were what they will end up being today, they would have been blasted at. Just keep that in mind. He's 100% right there. SPY look like making a double top and chart can go south this week if they don't pump it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the SPY takes a dump this week. It's overdue for it. Mario, stay positive. I do it with my Cowboys. Yeah, you got to give it to the Cowboys fans. They convince themselves every year, even when they have a terrible coach. Goodwill says, by comparison, battery stock ELVA is 344, record earnings of 43 million in 23, up 117% for 22. Year over year earnings increase before that floats 2/3 finger. Nice. I mean, it does. It sounds like a strong stock. It does. Tom's over $1 trillion in credit card debt. Nobody's buying cars. Electric cars aren't charging, aren't cold. That's true. Yeah, I know. I know. And electric cars, I mean, they're only they're expensive and they're only as cheap as they are because they're still subsidized. Just wait. I'm telling you, electric cars are one of the dumbest investments our economy could ever make. Electric cars are a luxury. They're a luxury. I'm not going to go on long about this, but just you brought it up. But they're a luxury. If you treat them as a luxury and you just want an electric car because you like them, fine. But if you think they're the future, they're just not. You can't run the economy on them. Big Jerry becoming completely immune to this tax. Only mad I missed the dip today. I know I'm mad I missed the dip today too. I would have loved to scrape some up at 265. Oh, Roger, we're gonna have a fun weekend next week, huh? You're a Packers fan? Who down over 20K in GTII? A lot of people actually. What do the Cowboys have in common with the Niners? I don't know. Nothing. That's right, JR. Thank you. Wicked. Let's not forget Fingers trading higher than AMC pre-reverse split. Well, Goodwill, on my tech stock point, your one stock doesn't prove me wrong. I'm saying there are multiple stocks that don't make anything, and John also posted all the stocks that are currently doing worse than Finger and are at $10. So I think my point still stands. It's not 100%. Nothing's ever 100%. You're getting Belichick. You guys should get Belichick. Although Vrabel would be better. Is Williams still streaming? Oh my God, that's nuts. Yeah, Saber. If they ever figure out nuclear cars, but that'd be kind of scary in a car wreck. You know what I'm saying? When Hertz announces they're selling electric fleet, yep, exactly. Cantrix, there's some video posts coming out. People spend more charging their EVs than would have costing gas. I know. I heard a guy had to charge his car. It cost him $200 because it was cold. Crazy. Robert, I'm giving you Purdy's not gonna. I say over under Purdy picks. If it was 0.5, I'd take the under. That's how. I don't think he's gonna throw a pick next game. I think Shanahan's going to come out with a perfect game plan, and Purdy's not even going to have to make that many hard throws because Packers' defense sucks. It just does. It was good against the Cowboys, but that's because the Cowboys always suck in the playoffs with McCarthy because he's a terrible coach. Lifelong Cheesehead. I respect it. I was born in Wisconsin, so I actually have a Packers sweatshirt. Yeah, flaw installing a flux capacitor. I saw part of the press conference with Vivek and Trump, which is awesome, man. I gotta give it up to Vivek. How classy that he saw there's no point forward after Iowa, closed down his campaign immediately and endorsed Trump. That was so classy. I give him mad props for that. And now he said he's going to work as hard as anybody to get Trump elected. I love it, man. He definitely won major points with me for that. So that's huge. I'd love to see it. It's not a no cursing policy completely. I had to say that to get it down. You guys have been here for a while. I set that up for new people. Okay. You guys know how it rolls. There's cursing, but only when necessary. Ric Flair does look like William. Woo! I would love to see some of that energy from William. That'd be nice. Brad, I think more people would buy a Flintstones mobile than a Tesla or electric car at this point. I don't know about Tesla. Tesla's got that strong brand, at least. Purdy's not going to choke. Dude, you guys, what is this, all this nonsense about Purdy? You guys are crazy. He won 2 playoff games last year. 2 playoff games. He knocked out the Cowboys and Aaron Rodgers Packers last year. I mean, come on. No, it wasn't the Packers. It was Seahawks. Seahawks and the Cowboys. He knocked off the 2-seed Cowboys last year. Handled them. Threw 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, and ran for a touchdown. No picks. Destroyed them. And you guys think he's going to suck this year? He's better this year. Get out of here. All this Purdy hate's ridiculous. Purdy's awesome. Ring the bell. All my plays are long-term bets. Market's now a casino. Exactly. It's true. Solid state batteries next step. I haven't heard about those. I have to look into that. I do think the Cowboys will go after Belichick. I really do. Yeah. Vivek was the biggest winner of the power. Well, I mean, Trump set records, so I got to disagree with you there. But I'd say Vivek is probably second. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't pull a McCain and Ryan. Yep. I agree with you. I'm still watching Vivek, but he's earning points with me. Tell new people we don't need no stinking new people, says Jerry. Listen, you say that, but I'm the one who's running the channel here. I'd like to have more people. Even though I already love the ones I got, but more people are fun. The Packer shirt to cover when the No, I would never. There's literally at this point, guys, I did almost 300 videos last year. Can you guys believe that? And almost all of them wearing my Niners hat. That's you gotta say that I probably put out at least 500 hours of content with my Niners hat on. There's no going back now. Lifelong Lion fan, happy to be here, as you should be, Pizza. You guys did great. I hope you win next week too. I would love to see you guys in a championship game. That'd be classic. Just Mike, sure the Trump-Vivek relationship prearranged. He was like Trump by proxy in debates. I have thought about that. I have. I still don't know quite what to think about Vivek. I think Mike could be right, but I also think he could be a plan on the other side. So I'm still watching. Northwest, rumor control. Trump buys the Cowboys, markets the brand, make Cowboys go. Jerry would never sell. Oh, I hear what you're saying. Okay, Rosie, that's a good point. Saber, have a good night, man. Barbara, good night. Yeah, I'm gonna head off too, guys. I'm gonna go see my wifey. I haven't seen her since 7:30 this morning. Big Jar, welcome new people. Like, subscribe, become. Yes, guys, please before you leave, like, subscribe, share. This is the channel, man. This is the channel for the short squeeze craziness, the market manipulation, the economy news, and from now going forward, the Trump election news this is the stop. This is where we conversate and go nuts and get mad at each other and share crazy takes and drink good beer. This is the channel for you. So there you are. Is that a good pitch? I hope that's a good pitch. I would subscribe to that channel. Robert, you're crazy. He's not going to be throwing picks. Listen here. You want to hear my prediction on the Niners-Packers game? I think the Niners win. I think we win something like 38-17. I think it's going to be a smashing. So there you go. I'm on record. 38-17 Niners on Saturday night. Stephen, I want to say within 3 months, 1 to 3 months, we're going to experience events so large it's biblical. I've been listening to a few solid sources. I hope we go before that and Trump will be. I agree with you. Trump will be reelected. And I think you might be onto something there. I could see it happening, Stephen. Vivek's earning points, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street dump millions into his. Yeah, I know. There's a lot there. I agree with you, Roger. I do. You're welcome. Have a good night, guys. I'm a closet Packers fan. That was not true. Night, JR. Put up my Ranger picture and say a quick prayer. I don't know if I have time to bring up the Ranger picture. I'll do it tomorrow. But I'll end on a prayer. I am still on carnivore. I've lost 8 pounds so far since the first. So love you too. Ring the bell. I think Trump's going to pick Ben Carson. So Lions, Texans. There's no way the Texans are getting to the Super Bowl. Buddy Parcells can tolerate Jerry Jones. Yeah, your guys are welcome. Trump GTI ticket. There you go. You see my Trump GTI video I made? All right, I'll end on a quick prayer and we'll get out of here because I got to go see my wife. But all right, Father God, thank you, Lord, for these people. I love this community, God. I really do. And I just pray you bless every one of them. Thank you, God, for fighting our battles for us and partnering with us as we go after this. And I just pray for justice in the markets and in each and every person's life here. Justice in our finances, for everything stolen from us, for decades upon decades and everything going on. And I just pray that this year, God, you bring forward all the wins that we've all been fighting for, and while also dealing justice to those who really have it coming for them. So we love you, God, and just bless us going forward. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, there we go, guys. Bless you guys. You guys are awesome, and I will see you, I think, tomorrow night.